then we can all get up and dance on the table.
The table ain't gonna hold all of us.
You're the one they're looking forward to on the table.
It's gonna crash down onto the floor.
It's all right. Laura's not talking to me as always.
What? I just put.
She's so mean.
When she was speaking yesterday, at the, the meeting we had yesterday at the Brazoria office, you were so, cute and quiet and very, very quiet and sort of well spoken. And I'm thinking she's more English than American.
What the heck?
What? Okay, talking about English, I put something that I think I wanted your opinion on in the UK that is happening.
Okay.
About cigarettes
with the age going up.
Yes, and also
I think it's a wonderful idea.
And also about the Asian games, that some people think there were cheater pumpkin eaters in there.
Asian games.
Yeah, I put it in the court.
Asian games. Did Chinese officials try to cheat? It wouldn't surprise me.
And India has the greatest accusation.
No, why? Because they did well.
No, because
I don't know. I just find it interesting.
I think there's people say you're racist, but I think there are cultures where they're always trying to get one over one of the others. My best friend in England was Indian.
One of my friends is Indian. No, I have a few friends Indian.
I've got out of business hours, I've got to take you to that restaurant, Taka. Have you been there?
Mm-hmm.
It's so good because you go to the Indian restaurant, then you walk down and you go to Yogurtland.
Oh, you told me.
If you've got enough room left.
I was gonna say butter chicken doesn't go good with yogurt.
It does.
In butter chicken.
Well, yeah, but after having biryani and all of that, it's like.
Do you like biryani?
Yeah.
See, I don't.
Have you ever had chaat? A lot of people have.
Yeah, I do, but I mean.
It's so
veggie biryani is really good.
Have you ever? Do you know where
You've had it before?
Do you know where Nabila Sweets is? It used to be on Hillcroft.
I saw a video.
What's his face made some.
Really?
Nabila Sweets is closed.
Mm-hmm.
Shorty? Okay.
He made biryani. He made veggie biryani and he made chicken biryani.
Okay, then yeah.
Biryani is just rice, isn't it?
Huh?
Biryani is just rice.
Well, depending on what you like, sometimes, they put, depending on your religion as an Indian person, you either have a veggie or you have one with chicken.
Oh, okay.
So it just
I
depends
used to have a friend
on the religion.
Like biryanis. A white guy used to like biryanis, but...
And then you put that yogurt on top of it. It's super good.
It is closed. What the heck?
Do you know how long that's been open? Does it say how long it's been open?
It doesn't. Nothing even comes up about it anymore.
It's been open. It's been open like 30 years, 40 years. It had a really good vegetarian buffet.
A lot of Indian places used to have a lot of buffets, but I think they stopped doing.
But there's a lot of Indian restaurants that have gone out of business in Houston recently, which is pretty frightening. Anyway, you ready to get going?
Yeah, they heard it.
Party time.
They can see you now.
They can do. Hi, everybody.
Oh no. Are we going to start a kids show now?
Why not? Do you know who Andy Pandy is?
Wendy Pandy?
Andy Pandy.
Oh, Andy Pandy. No.
Go and have a look and put a go and have a look online
idea.
and put a picture of Andy Pandy.
He sounds scary.
A-N-D-Y, separate word, P-N-D-Y.
He is scary.
Oh
No, he's
my
not.
goodness.
Go on,
What is
bring
that?
it up on the
First of
screen.
all,
Can they see it?
This is terrifying.
All right.
Turn around, Laura.
No, it's
I'm
not.
looking at it.
No, it's not. Andy Pandy was like thousands and millions of kids were brought up in the 60s, 70s, and 80s on Andy Pandy.
He looks like a nice version of Chucky.
Yes.
No,
I agree with
Chucky's
Courtney.
different.
The one that when you turn your
Andy
turn around,
Pandy.
his face changes.
There you go, Andy Pandy.
This
Oh.
is terrifying.
He was brought up in the days of Postman Pat as well.
Who the heck is Postman Pat?
All right, bring up Postman Pat.
Oh, goodness.
Postman Pat and his black and white cat. Put Postman Pat in.
Okay. The
I got
police
one.
officer.
There you go, look.
Okay, now he looks cute.
Yeah, look, and he's got a black and white cat, see? Postman Pat and his black and white cat.
Is that a very
Postman
British
Pat,
thing?
Postman Pat, Postman Pat and his black and white cat.
No, we had Blue's Clues here.
Blue's Clues and Barney.
Oh, no, Barney. No. A lot of singers got their starts on, like, Barney and stuff, right?
My favorite one was the Wiggles.
Just go down a little bit on the screen. Can you see where the...
I'm all about
stop
the
there.
backyardigans.
Can you see where the Union
Backyardigans.
Jack's in the back?
Did you ever watch Oli Poly Oli?
I remember Roly Poly Oly. with the
Roly
strings.
Poly Oli was fun. I like watching Roly Poly Oli.
I often wonder what happens to some of these old, you know.
What happens
And
to
the other one is, look, put this one in, the Magic Roundabout.
Sorry, I was just making sure we're all good on the sound.
Put another one in, the Magic Roundabout. I mean, these were,
Okay, the dog is cute.
The Magic Roundabout looks a lot
Go
like
down.
Shaun the Sheep.
go down. You are, look, do you see the one with the Magic Roundabout to the left?
This one?
No, above that.
The carousel, not the roundabout, the carousel.
Do you see it?
Because I'm so confused.
The worm and the snail look creepy, and so does the rabbit. What is that, the sheep?
They used to be on every day. Kay's looking in disbelief.
Well, now I know why British kids are so well behaved because they're terrified.
And then,
Oh, God. Let's put
you all know
some
Thomas the
em-
Tank Engine is surely.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So we can say Thomas the Tank Engine is multicultural, correct?
Yeah, I would say that.
Yes.
Is he considered Thomas the Tank?
It's called Thomas and Friends.
Okay, put Thomas the Tank Engine in, because that's what we used to call it.
It is called Thomas the Tank,
It
by
is
the way.
called Thomas the Tank.
But yes, Thomas and Friends.
There you
PBS
go.
has it as Thomas and
Now,
Friends.
who was the voice of Thomas the Tank Engine?
I don't know.
You got me there.
I'm sorry, as a kid when I was watching
You-
this,
you
I
don't-
didn't think,
you don't
I
know?
wonder who's the voice of this.
Ringo Starr.
Really?
Uh-huh.
What the heck?
You know, put it in, just so I can clarify. I'm convinced it was Ringo Starr.
No, it says Michael Angeles, and
Yeah,
he died.
John Hessler.
I thought Ringo Starr was in there somewhere. No?
Maybe.
Benjamin Keith.
Have you seen Peppa Pig?
Yes.
I guess
I
not.
want to talk about Peppa Pig.
I just need to
That's
show you a Peppa Pig.
Yeah,
So
show
annoying.
me. Show me a Peppa Pig. What's wrong with Peppa Pig?
I just need you to see how much of a jerk Peppa Pig is. I just want you to understand.
I mean, look how less imaginative he is compared to some of the English ones. Look how angry he even looks.
Never mind. I'm making cookies. Would you like to lick the spoon? No, thank you.
Everything is lovely.
Hello, Mrs. Pig. Hello, Mrs. Sheep. Can Peppa talk to Susie, please? Hello, Susie. Hello, Peppa. What are you doing? I'm learning to whistle, but I can't do it yet. That sounds hard. It's impossible. Can you whistle, Susie? No. Oh, good. I mean, that's sad if you can't whistle, but good, because I can't whistle. What's whistling anyway? You put your lips together and blow. Like this.
He hung up on her because she got it on the
Hey,
first
how
try.
did
Peppa Pig is a horrible person. I don't care what anybody says.
I loved watching on TikTok. One of their kids watch Peppa Pig all the time, and they have a British accent, even though they're not British.
That's so cute. Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Her face.
Well, we started off on something that we didn't think we were going to start off on.
We did not
Right.
start off.
You know, as always, we keep to the script.
So now that we're going to move on to grown-up things, let's talk about this nationwide emergency alert that's going to be coming on to everybody's phone at 3:30 today.
No, it's not 3:30.
It's 2:30 Eastern
Well, it's
time.
2:30
We was told
Eastern.
Houston time is between 1:20 and 2 o'clock.
Oh, okay. So
But this is Eastern time, correct?
So if it's 2, it'll
2:20
be
Eastern
1 hour
time. Yeah, 2:20 Eastern time. But I know on the radio this morning I was listening to Ruler and Ryan, and they were saying that it's going to be Houston time 1:20 to 2 o'clock.
So
Everybody's phone is going to ring.
not everybody's. Question: do you have your phone activated for like the Amber Alerts and stuff?
I cannot disclose that.
You don't have your phone?
No, I don't really know.
Do you ever get those alerts?
No.
Then no, you're not.
Okay. I mean, I don't know how often
I
they
was
happen.
told all
so I don't
phones,
know.
regardless of what.
Like, is that the only alerts that we
nationally-
get?
I was-
Because it says on here, you will only receive the notification if your phone is turned on, you are in an active cell tower range, and your provider participates in WEA. I think I have those turned off because I don't get Amber Alerts, weather alerts, or nothing because that's annoying.
I
Well, we
do
need to
get
show
weather
you.
alerts, but through
A different
the
app.
app.
Yeah.
So I don't think so then.
Have you ever been in a restaurant and everybody's phone starts going off for that notification?
Not mine.
And not yours. Okay.
So then I guess not. There it goes.
I guess we'll find out if yours rings today or not. I have mine
was-
turned off.
Yeah, I was told that everybody's phone is going to ring regardless what.
I guess we'll find out. That'll be something we can discuss tomorrow to see if your phone ring or not.
But why do you think that's going to be very annoying?
Well, they're worried. On the local radio, they was worried about it ringing in the schools, and then all the students are going to start running out thinking, there's something going on.
Sometimes when there's an emergency, it does create chaos, especially in crowds.
Well, I actually have a child that's in school, and they have been preparing the kids for this day. Like, they've been telling them there's
Which is
something
good.
that's going to be, every phone is going to ring, every laptop is going to go off, so nothing to worry about, blah, 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 blah.
So when your laptop goes off, just throw it against the wall.
I mean, this will be good though.
I'm wondering if my laptop is going to go off. I'm really curious about that.
This is going to be really good though because, stuff is really happening. We don't have it quite as much where we have those alerts that are super imperative, like right then and there, like tornadoes and earthquakes and tsunamis that you don't get any like forewarning. We're usually with the hurricanes and we're always going to know a couple days ahead whether it might strike us. So I don't think it affects us as much as it does for some of the other places that have
Like in the Panhandle?
that have stuff that happens very quickly, like tornadoes and stuff.
Right.
I would just like to say that one of the biggest questions about this alert is that.
Is what?
What if I have a phone that I'm trying to keep secret? Turn it off. If you're trying to keep it secret, why is it on all the
What the
time?
heck?
Seriously?
Sancha may be calling.
If you're trying to win the phone, maybe you should be found out.
There's going to be a whole bunch of divorces coming up in the next month or so. That's going to be trending next
Can you
month,
imagine?
Stephen.
You've got a secret phone caught in between, like, the sofa. Whose phone is this?
Right. That is so crazy that's a huge concern. And then the next one is won't this disrupt schools, which is a valid one.
Is what?
Won't this disrupt schools, which
It's
is what you're
literally going to be an alarm.
It's like a
gonna go
fire
back to
drill.
Same thing as fire drill. Yeah, it's going to
They're
disrupt
used to
them.
fire
10,
drills.
20 minutes, everybody
What do they
calm
do?
down and done.
What do they do? Jump under the tables?
Fire drills? No, everybody walks outside in line.
Into their
stays
little
outside.
fire area or whatever?
Yeah, they stay outside for 10, 15 minutes.
How about a
They come right
lockdown?
back inside.
Because a gunman
Lockdown is a little bit different depending on the school policies.
But a lot of the schools now automatically lock the doors, don't they?
It depends on the school policy.
Yeah, and it depends
Every
on
school
the
that I know of now, like, you have to ring or something to even get in the doors now. They don't just let everybody in.
No, but whenever they have that lockdown drill, every school is different.
Yeah.
Someone said they make a great point about like school shooters and things like that. It's the lockdown drills are kind of pointless because typically the people that are going to harm the people in the school are also part of the lockdown drills. So it's one of those things where it's like it used to work when it was like adults like Sandy Hook and things like that, or like previous students, but now a lot of them are kids that actually go to that school.
Yeah, but it makes sense to have them huddled in a corner instead of running around the halls as moving targets.
I don't know. I don't want to be a moving target and just sat in the corner. It's like
The only thing that I don't agree about the new school system, security system, is that, yes, they buzz you in as, you have to identify, buzz you in, but nobody actually does the security wand on the person to make sure they don't have any weapons. So that's kind of, to me, that kind of defeats the purpose.
Depends on what school you're in.
Oh.
I didn't know that.
No, but I think that should be...
Saying there are certain schools, usually not elementary, but there are some high schools that you have to go through metal detectors to get in the school, depending on what area it's in.
But I think every visitor should be pat down if you come during school
You
hours.
grew up in a not so great area, is that correct?
What? I went to private school after 3rd grade, but when I was in 2nd grade, we didn't have that, but it's actually interesting. This was before school shooters were like a huge thing. We had a lot of lockdowns because weird people were coming into the school. So it's really bad, but yeah, no, I don't know what was going on at those schools, so yeah.
Well, we'll see how many...
Anyway, let's
Phones ring
move on
in
to
a
the
little
next
bit.
sport. Laura, you brought something to the table. Now speak up a little bit, come on. UK Prime Minister wants to raise the legal
Yeah.
age to buy cigarettes.
Yeah, I wanted your opinion on that. How
I'm
do you
all
feel
for it.
about that?
I'm all for it. I've never smoked in my life. Well, I tried it for a little bit and I thought, why the heck does somebody want to smoke this
I
stuff?
wonder if anybody has ever started out smoking liking it.
Honestly, I'll never forget once that when I was like 10 years old, 11 years old, I decided to buy myself a packet of cigarettes. And
10?
And I hid them on top of the gas meter at the house.
The gas meter?
Yeah.
That's a bad place to hide
And I didn't
cigarettes.
realise that the gas man came occasionally and
And he was-
read the gas meter, and he went to my dad and he said, "Have you left your cigarettes on top of the gas meter?" I had such a beating. Because my dad said, I'm paying all this money for skating and here you are smoking, but it was
You
just...
should have been just deny.
Well, it was... No.
Look, it's the gas meter, guys.
The thing that I didn't realise at the time was that in the room where I left them cigarettes is my father's sister committed suicide in that room in the 50s.
Oh my gosh.
Well, that's an interesting
And I didn't
history.
know at the time, I didn't know that she committed suicide until about 3 months before my dad died, and then he opened up to me because he was passing, and he opened up to me and he starts crying and tells me the whole story about the whole thing.
So you lived there the entire time and nobody told you
He didn't
about
tell me.
that? Interesting.
And do you know what his middle name was? Go on. Have
What's
a
his
guess what
first name?
His first, he decided to move his middle name to his first name, which was Gordon. And rest his soul,
Okay.
I love him to bits.
Ramsey.
No.
I'm not good with British names.
And his last name was Williams, obviously, but have a guess what his first name was.
Brute.
His
Brady.
let me tell you, my grandfather must have had a real sense of humour to call him this.
Arthur?
Adolphus.
Oh, you've said that before.
I was going to say, it
Horrible.
sounds like the rice, but I couldn't remember the brand.
It's like, it's like really? And so Dad decided wherever he went, he'd put his first name in.
I just thought it was interesting that the legal age was 16 in the UK until 2007. So, because here in Texas it's 21. I think here in Texas it's 21, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I just thought that was like very different.
British kids have a huge partying culture.
What?
They do.
What?
They do. There's a show.
No, they don't.
There's a show called World's Strictest Parents, and they're all from the UK and Australia. And
No,
they're
I disagree.
bad kids.
I disagree completely. When I was skating,
Well, yeah.
and there was
skating.
and when hold on. When I was skating, and you wanted to go to the best parties, have a guess where you went?
The English parties?
To the Americans and the Canadians, because I'll
Canadians
never
party?
forget to one American party where I couldn't believe it. There was ice in the tub and there was liquor in the tub,
Nice.
and then there was
And
literally
how old were you?
at the time maybe 21, 22.
Oh, okay.
But there was some people on there that was under 21, and they had other things in there as well. Just to let you know.
Wouldn't doubt it.
Every episode of The World's Strictest Parents, all of the kids are from the UK.
I think people are just doing that for clicks.
Really?
If you want to see
There's a show called Skins, Steven. Have you ever seen that show?
But you know what? Have you seen on TikTok this one lady that actually ended up getting arrested after what she's been doing to her kids?
What is she doing?
Is it the passenger of 8 lady?
Yeah, she had a whole crap load of kids.
What did she do?
She had a lot of kids, and she was super strict and like wouldn't feed them, right?
Yeah, she was
Like her punishments, like if you do something wrong, you're not gonna eat the rest of the day.
Yeah, and then like that was the minimum because she was restraining them, like tying them up and things like
Yeah.
that. And I think one of the kids ran to the neighbors
Yeah.
and they're like, "Please, like, help me, help us."
there's a YouTube channel, and it's about what happened. I think it's called like UK Bouncers or something on YouTube, where a lot of people, they go out, they work obviously in the daytime, but Friday night and Saturday night the goal is to go out there, get as drunk as you can, and it happens most in certain cities, and then you see if you can, pick up a young lady, or if not, you just get in a fight.
You're telling me,
Yeah, but what I'm saying is
That was so not what I thought the show was going to be about.
right away.
But what I'm saying is it's prevalent in particular cities,
Right.
but it's not the norm.
I guess.
It depends on the person.
It's not the norm. In a lot of, and I'm not going down on working class people because I look at myself as very working class, but there's a lot of working class areas like Newcastle.
Mm-hmm.
All right, they call them Geordies, Liverpool.
Essex.
You're just going on Essex girls. Stop giving them a hard time. Essex girls aren't as bad as what, in my opinion, anyway. But
They're definitely interesting looking.
But do you know what? But the reason why I disagree with what you're saying is, in Europe, not just the UK, but in Europe, you can sit down at the table, and believe it or not, my kids were brought up this way. And if you sit down and you have a meal, and you have a glass of wine or even a beer, we'd sometimes water it down, or give them a little bit, so they haven't got the need to go and do it behind your back. And that's where I think sometimes you can be too strict.
Yeah.
All right, and it causes you a problem down the road. And it's like, no disrespect to UK, but there you are saying, no, they're strict. But over here, you've got a bigger problem.
No, I'm saying.
You can't drink until you're 21.
No, the strict parents are here in
All
the
right,
United States.
okay, but you
That's
can't
what I'm
drink till
saying.
you're 21. But you can go and buy a fake ID for $50.
Yeah.
All right, and I will tell you from my own personal experience, when I found out that a particular individual was going out purchasing. There was I even had a call from a police officer once because they was smoking marijuana on a public park and drinking beer, and the police officer warned me and said, you know, this individual seems a good guy, you know, with a good family background, and it's going to affect him for the rest of his life. Now, I was grateful for that police officer. Would it have happened if he was African American?
I don't know. It depends.
Well, the people he was with were all African American, and they let them all off. But the reason what brought the attention was because they was all being rowdy and out of control on a playground, on a children's playground.
Because there's nowhere to go. I used to have a friend who her parents were like the strictest parents ever, and she was a horrible. She would go out and do crazy stuff, and she was like 16, and
I think you've got to. I think it.
Everything is a balancing act.
It is, and I think it's so difficult.
Have fun trying to balance.
And it's so hard being a parent to allow the kids growth, but at the same time to teach them a little bit of humility. And no disrespect, I think it's even worse in America. I find it even more difficult. I didn't think it was going to be as hard being a parent anyway. All right, Asian Games 2023. Did Chinese officials try to cheat? Mr. Chopra. India's great big acquisition. What's the Asian Games? Why have we even got an Asian Games?
Because they have their own games in Asia.
Why should they have their own games?
I haven't heard of that. Have you?
I don't know. I've never heard
So
of
do
it.
you understand? Why should they even have their own games?
What do you mean?
We have an Olympic Games. We have a World Championship.
Who started the Olympic Games?
The Greeks.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, maybe they're doing it. I mean, I
No,
think
go on. Tell me why? What's the purpose of an Asian Games?
because there are so many different countries within Asia, and they're trying to prove who's better.
I mean, I don't care. Ain't
Yeah.
hurt nobody.
I think it's ridiculous.
This is the least of
The
our worries.
the only Asian Games they should have is who's making the best chapatis and who's making the best General Tso's chicken.
That is racist.
Well,
That
but-
is not.
honestly, that's all I'm interested in because to me, I think
Well,
it's
then the Asian Games aren't for you. That's why, and that's probably
the
why
uni-
they have the Asian Games privately, because of people who have that mindset.
well, it's not just that, but I mean, I love British food. That's my preference. But the truth of the matter is, does that make me a racist?
What you said was yes.
What, British food?
No, what you said.
No,
was
but
it
what I'm
doesn't
saying is, what's the point in having an Asian Games?
'Cause they're-
So let's go ahead and have a Canadian Games. Let's go ahead and have an American Games. You can have a national championship, but when you get to the point of going to international status, is there an organisation that's running
There's
it?
the Canada Games. The Canada Games is a multi-sport event held every 2 years.
Right,
So
which is basically a national championship.
like, I guess, but it's the same thing as.
Okay, so
Asian
who are-
Games.
so-
what's the difference?
So who are the countries that are involved in the Asian Games? Here we go.
It is Afghanistan. Oh wait, no, that is.
I've got-
China, Japan, the Republic of Korea, and India, Thailand, every Asian country. Sri Lanka,
I still think it's ridiculous.
UAE, Macau.
We're not Asians and they're not inviting us.
Right.
It's like the World Series. We don't invite
What,
anybody.
baseball?
Yeah, we
So
don't
why do
invite
you call
anybody.
it the World Series?
So
we're
because
Because you're American and you
We're
think you
American.
automatically think that
we're the world.
it's a bit like
We
the
are
NFL.
the world. There's people from all over the world in our world.
Yeah, but
Aren't we
In our
the
country.
most
It's never
diverse
become-
country? Yes or no?
Yes.
Politically?
No, we're not talking about
No,
politically.
we're talking about diverse.
we used to be, but we're no longer now.
Who is?
What's that? The most diverse country?
Mm-hmm.
At the moment, I don't think there is one. Whichever country you go to, because of a right-wing element, I think that's coming through, not the whole world, I think it's coming to that point now. I don't think there is a country that's, you know, I hope America doesn't lose its, that's one of the main reasons I came to America, was because of the diverse. Now, don't get me wrong, I love the Indian culture. My best friend was Indian, but I still can't see the point of having an Asian Games.
There's the South American Games as well. Every country.
So there's 48 countries in Asia.
Yeah, and all of them. But there's all.
And there are 3 territories in that continent. So
South America also has its own games. That is very similar to the Olympics. Canada has its own games as well. So Asia has its own games.
So it's basically it's going on continents.
it only made news because they were calling each other cheaters.
Yeah, so they've been doing it for years. I mean, the South American Games have been going since 1978.
Who's the organisation that runs it?
I don't know. It just says Odysseus Games for the. I can't pronounce that. I'm not South American.
A lot of African countries are diverse. Number 1 diverse country in the world is Uganda. And they say that usually there's a lot of being diverse because of a lot of like people fleeing from other countries.
Right, and
There's
that's
also the All Africa Games. So it's
The what?
just the All Africa Games. So we're literally only hearing about this because they're calling people cheaters. So everywhere in the world has.
well.
its
If they
own
accuse
different
one another
thing.
of cheating, then do you know what? Don't bother having your games.
Play nice. Everybody gets to win.
Absolutely.
You get a trophy, you get a trophy, and you get a trophy.
But you know what? That's another.
We're
That's
going to do a participation trophy? Is that what
that's-
we're going with?
that's
Yes.
an American thing. That is.
Be done with the cheating.
Everybody
Everybody
gets
gets
a medal
trophy.
for participating.
There you go.
That's absolutely crap.
I don't know.
Go on.
I'm kind of like a 50-50 on that one.
Just for participating?
I think you should get
In
a
the
trophy
younger
within
kids?
your own team. A participation in your own team. I don't think the whole council should give you a trophy.
I think when they're younger, I think it's kind of good because when they're really, really young, you know, probably middle school and up, no, but when they're really, really young, it's kind of good to show them that, hey, you enter something, you work as hard as you can, and you complete it, you get rewarded at the end of it.
To me, what should happen is there should be a world championship in any sport, and I think it should just be the Olympics. That's just my feeling on it.
I think where everybody participates
because
in
if
the world
everybody's-
is the Olympics and football and soccer, right?
Correct. And I think when you get something with world participation, the whole idea of sport is to bring everybody together. But when you've got like the Asian Games,
Bring everybody together by putting them up against each other.
yeah, but that's not the message of sport. The message of sport is to compete in a fair manner. Now, no disrespect to a lot of Americans, but what do Americans normally do? USA, USA. That in itself, although it's patriotic, it's not in the message, to be perfectly honest, of competitiveness. You're supposed to take things with grace, whether you lose or you win. Because to me, it's the humanity in the
What
sport
did you
that matters.
do whenever you would lose?
I'd be up with myself.
You'd
I'd be up with my. It's about being accountable.
Did you ever throw any fits afterwards? Get mad? Punch anything?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
But that doesn't. But that doesn't affect anybody else.
Would you call the other team losers or
No.
something?
No, that's Trump.
At the stadium?
That's Trump.
Oh Lord.
That is Trump calling his soldiers. Was it? What did he call it? What did he call them? Losers, and was it? He refused to see people because
I can't keep up with Trump.
the people that died were losers. That's why I didn't want to go to and see him when they was in France, when he was president in France, because all this has come out this week. Michael Flynn had said there was they were losers or something.
That is crazy. That is. But yeah, it says that China.
But do you know? Can I just bring something into that? I want to say what you were saying. Before you learn to win, you've got to learn to lose. In everything you do, you've got to learn to take losing and taking the knocks before you learn to win.
I have to say, kind of bringing this back with my job, you definitely have to take the loses in strides because it's a learning experience.
You don't.
I was gonna say, if you never learn from your losses, it's because you're never gonna mature. You're never gonna grow.
Yeah, the last day of the Olympics, I sat down with a very famous Olympian, and I don't want to say who it is. Mm-hmm. He was an American Olympian. He'd won one of the golds down there, and I knew him because we did some coaching up there, and I was helping somebody up in Chicago, and I was talking to this individual, and I turned around and I says, "What do you put your success down to?" And he said, "The biggest lesson that I can say to anybody why I got to this point where I am now," and he's still successful now. You'll see him on TV. I think it was on NBC or something. And he said, "The reason is because I learned to lose, and I learned to lose the right way with dignity. All right, before I learned to win." Because he said what was happening with him was he was challenged a little bit. Basically, what happened was he was competing against kids because he was good at what he did against a higher level. So in other words, when he was 12, he was competing against other skaters that were 14. When he was 14, he was competing against skaters that were 16.
Okay.
When he was 16, then he was breaking into the senior level, and he was competing against people that was 18. So physically, and even at the end, physically he wasn't really, physically mature as some of the other competitors. But he was very, very good, very skillful what he did, and he was good at what he did. But he had to, he didn't finish first until he got to the top of the tree, and then nobody could touch him. So, all right. Can we talk about, what are we talking about next? Oh, Houston, Texas, let's talk about this.
Cool. Getting robbed and staying safe.
Just to let everybody know, this is a clip that happened in Houston. I actually do not live too far from this area, and in Houston at the moment, we're getting a lot of people that are getting their bags taken from the car, and they're getting, basically people are just losing their handbags. That sounds, but basically people are.
Yeah, and in an SUV, you can't see somebody that's right down by your door. Ooh. Oh my. So they'll do this too at the gas station. People, and it's more so SUVs than it is cars, because it's easy you can't see somebody that's hidden down like that beside your car. You're not going to see them coming up. They just open your door and pull whatever they can out of there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, keep your doors locked.
Yeah, you just have to keep your doors locked. That is crazy.
To be honest though, if I was her, I would have put it in reverse and smashed into the other car.
That's what I said. I was like,
oh no, you got an evil streak in you, Laura?
But you know what?
Yes, I do, because Stephen called me evil at the beginning of the show, so obviously I do.
Let's say something. That happens so quickly. Would you think to do that?
I don't know. For me, whenever I get in car accidents, my first reaction is to chase the car that hit me because they always run.
Have you got a gun in your car?
I refuse to answer that. I plead the
So
fifth.
obviously she has.
I've had more than one person run off on me.
Just chasing everybody, shooting at their tires.
What, when they hit you?
Mm-hmm.
I think
So yeah, I'd be the one to back up into them.
I don't keep my wallet in my bag. I keep my wallet.
I
on me,
probably would
and it's a
not have
very
done
small
anything,
wallet.
because if they're stealing from me, I don't know if they have a gun,
That's the problem.
and I'm not gonna.
We have a community that we manage, like I told you the other day. You know, we have a courtesy car that drives around the property, and on one of the board members, his wife was unloading groceries and taking them to the unit, and while she was doing that, somebody ran into the car. The son rushed downstairs to stop the guy stealing stuff from the car, and he ended up getting shot, and they haven't found that shooter to this day.
What the thing that baffles me is that in Texas, which I'm not.
But in a
aware,
case
not
in a case like that, she's better off backing into that car.
Yeah.
In all fairness, regardless of what, she's better off backing into that car.
Because if you make a scene more than just screaming and honking your horn, if you're starting to move cars around, those people most likely are going to be scattering.
But most likely that car is stolen. And what about?
Who cares?
Yeah, your car is going to be damaged.
Who
Okay, it's
cares?
to be an insurance claim anyways to replace your purse and everything in it. Not make it a big one.
But I think
I didn't say that.
think
It would have been a knee-jerk reaction.
I think
With a bang.
hey, I think this car here, isn't it a Mercedes SUV?
No, it looks like
Because it's got the double things on
no,
the wings.
it's an Acura.
It is.
I think it's an Acura.
Yeah, so that's an Acura, either RDX or MDX, probably like
I
that
have one, so I know.
2012, give or take.
Yeah, it's an older model.
Yep. 2012, 2016, somewhere around there.
Gosh, you're good with cars.
And the vehicle is what? It's like a Honda, right?
I think it was a
In the
Hyundai.
back, yeah.
But yeah, if you back up into the car, guess what? They're not just looking for some white car. They're looking for some white car that's smashed on the front end.
Well, you do have a point
So
there.
the moral of the story is get out there, if they do that to you, and smash them up.
Defend yourself.
My suggestion is when you pull into a parking spot, don't put your car in park until you're ready to get out of the car.
That's weird.
Because that's what I usually do.
Yeah, but you
Or
drive a big
change the
truck.
settings on your
But I
car.
don't drive a big truck. I also have a Toyota Camry. And I used to go around to very sketchy areas at the railroads around Houston and all kinds of places. And I had to be careful where I went and watch what I did because people have came up to my windows before. And since I was stopped just trying to find directions and I had it in drive, somebody tried to come up and open my door and I was able to stomp on the gas and get out of there compared to trying to take it out of park.
Okay. All right, let's move on to the dog. What you got for us, Kay?
It's the cutest dog ever.
I just thought
Out
this
of
was so
context
silly.
dogs.
We have to have volume with that, please.
Okay, let's see. I just thought this was really cute.
What's all this about?
So was there a human supposed to be on there and they had to go to the bathroom or something?
I think so.
What is he doing?
Is that the guy on live TV?
Yes.
What's his problem?
I think there was supposed to be a person there for the interview, and instead of a person, there's just a dog sitting there.
He jumped on Zoom.
I just like the fact that the dog is just like, what? Like, what's going on? And he stays there. It's not, he's like, just sniffing the screen.
I don't know about
And
y'all.
from Arizona today, we have Michael McDonald. big ears.
When you're on video, you're already a little nervous, and if something happens that make you laugh, then you're like, I look so stupid laughing here, and then you can't stop laughing.
But you know what? Dogs are so smart. So I don't know about y'all, but my dog, every time I'm on Zoom and he hears voices, he always comes to the side and kind of like wants to see like what I'm doing.
Cats are smarter. You should see my cat. My cat gets right in front of the TV screen just to watch what's going on the TV screen. I'm like, move out of the way.
See, my dog is
I've got an old English
70 pounds.
I've got an old English sheepdog. When she hears dogs on TV, she will literally get up to the screen and bark at them. Whether it's a horse.
Do you ever turn on the dog channel where like it just makes
Yes.
noises that stimulates the dog? Is that what you do when you leave?
No, but I do that on the weekend so that, you know, they can stay busy sometimes.
You let the TV babysit your dog.
Yeah, but they love it.
Can we move on to
UFOs?
Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
2,000 reports of UFOs.
You don't believe in UFOs?
No, not
You don't?
really. No.
We made it to the moon, we made it to everything else, but everything else has been speculation as
Well,
far as UFOs
DeGrasse
go.
reckons the biggest problem that we
I mean,
have.
is Bigfoot for real? Come on.
well,
Maybe.
is it? I think it's hard to believe that we're the only people that's out there. But is it Neil deGrasse, the scientist? He said the biggest problem with finding and communicating with another species, if you want to call them that, is the fact that we haven't got the energy, because it's billions of miles away, to get.
I think, well, I mean, the U.S. confirmed UFOs that like
That they
government-
exist.
Yeah, they
They recently-
a few years ago.
Well, then let's all
But
take tours at
government-
Area 51 and call it a day.
But I don't think that aliens are what we think they are. I don't think that they're little blue people. They could be just organisms or whatever. It doesn't have to be like humanoid things. I think we just imagine it that way because there's
Somebody watches too many movies.
like no, I'm being so serious. No, I'm saying like there's like people think that aliens are like little green people or big gray people or whatever. And
The military,
they could just be-
military have got photos of bean-sized things that have been going along, and they're not, they haven't got wings and stuff like this, but they've kept it under wraps for years. And in all fairness, it was President Trump that told them to. I think it was Trump that told them to, we need to know, when they ended up releasing it.
So what's going on in Maryland, though? It seems like there's a lot of sightings there.
But there's a lot of sightings. There was some that I'm sort of into this a little bit, but there was some apparently in Australia, Northern Australia, that's been pretty frequent. There's been a lot over the North Poles, and they're putting that down to the electromagnetic fields. There's some people that are saying, oh, this is, another level of intelligence that's trying to tell us to look after our planet.
I think it's military stuff that they're just testing it,
I think some
and
of- I
their
think some of
excuse
it
is a
is.
UFO.
Some of it is. I do think some of it is.
You gotta excuse it somehow so you don't get shot down, right? So
Well,
there you go, UFO.
but-
So is that
but
just
that's
a
what I
kid?
think-
Is that just a story
But that's what
for
I.
kids about
But that's what I
Toothfairy?
think. But that's what I think. Area 51 and Skunk Works is.
I think it's advanced military intelligence that we have, and we just tested, but we have to somehow play the correct political card. And in order not to be shut down, we have to say they're UFOs.
Well, then the thing is, you don't want to let your oppositions, your Russians
exactly.
and your Chinas,
So use the UFO
know what
card.
you're working on. I understand that. I mean, there's a lot that apparently has come out recently about, the US military. Now we sort of got this thing with Ukraine going on, and they're bringing out some new designs, some new missiles even, that they're releasing. But I do think that that some of it is
Especially
unexplainable.
Area 51. I think especially Area 51 is a military base because they just want people to stay out of there.
Right, but these are people, but you know, I mean, some of these sightings, you know, it's like a beam going into the ocean and different things and coming and just disappearing.
Well, we have to think about the fact that there are inhabitable planets as well that are millions of light years away that we'll never be able to reach.
We will never have the.
But there could be other life forms similar to us on those planets that just we can't reach them because, you know, we're kind of a new country. I mean,
You want to know my personal
we never
opinion?
went back to the moon.
Absolutely.
My personal opinion, we have so many issues here and so many things that we can deal with here that we should keep our eyes on this earth instead of out there.
Oh yeah, that's how I feel about the Ukraine.
What's that?
That's how I feel about the Ukraine.
What about it?
As far as resources and everything else go. That's my personal opinion.
What, Ukraine?
And just aliens. I mean, I don't think that we should care. I think that's what happened too in 2020 when they released the footage. Everybody was like, I don't care. We are like, COVID is happening. We do not care about aliens right now. Like, there's other things going on. But as far as
Go bring up. It's straight off the news now. The last article that I put into Discord.
Oh no.
And bring it up on the screen.
It's like, for example, these Chinese soldiers died in a submarine, 55 of them, right, in August. So what are they going to invent? You know?
Go to the top. Just go to the top and leave it there.
Oh, that's interesting.
Can you believe that? You know what happened yesterday, don't you?
No.
Oh yeah, our Speaker of the House.
The Democrats. All right, but basically the Republicans control. If all the Republicans had voted for, because they got the majority. Why do you laugh? Because I'm stating your facts. No, go on, tell me why you laugh.
No, because I saw the last link that you put up there on Discord.
Which was what?
Go ahead. The next Speaker of the House.
So why are you laughing that the Republicans can't get themselves together as a caucus? 8 Republicans voted against, and they could have got and kept McCarthy in. Mm-hmm. All right. Even Democrats voted for McCarthy to stay in. But there's a rule in Congress that if there's one person that wants to oust the Speaker, which was Matt Gaetz, mm-hmm. then it comes to a vote, and there was 8 Republicans that voted against McCarthy because they had gone to McCarthy and there's things that they wanted that originally McCarthy to get the vote, because he went to 14 votes originally, and now they want Donald Trump to be the Speaker of the House.
And who nominated him? A Texas representative, Troy.
Who nominated him?
Texas Representative Troy.
I just think that people who have criminal cases
Again,
should not be able
Trump
to
is
be
going to
in
get away with everything that has been
No,
following
I don't
him
think
for
so.
all these years, and he's going to...
I think Trump is the number one con man. You will never get you'll get nobody else that will be the best con man that Trump ever was.
The Florida Congressman Greg also put Trump's name forward as a successor to McCarthy. So you have Florida and Texas voting for Trump to get in there.
I think he'll be.
And who else?
I agree with Laura. I think that he's not going to suffer any consequences.
Trump
That
is
doesn't
not
mean
going
that
anywhere.
That doesn't mean that I don't want him to. I don't think that doesn't mean that she doesn't want him to. It just means that, like you said, he's a great con man.
Whether us as citizens want him to pay for whatever it is that he did, that he's probably guilty, he's not going to pay for it. He's going to get away with it.
Yeah.
And if
And then
if
he's
they
going to get a
do-
political office, and there you go.
But here's the deal. If that's the case, then it's a letdown of the American system.
Yeah.
It's a complete letdown of the American system when people that have been persecuted, and that's what I'm going to call it, persecuted by. He's not the only person that does some of this stuff, but he's been caught with his pants down, and people are now turning against him. I think he'll be penalised somehow. I mean, at the moment, what are they talking today about his damages today, aren't they? And then he'll appeal it. So, you know, it'll be an interesting time. But I think it's interesting because people don't understand. It's like, I'm a Democrat and I don't make no bones about it, but you know what? I felt for McCarthy yesterday because he's been trying to put stuff through, and his own caucus, there's 8 people, you know, that have got the quality like Marjorie Taylor Greene, Lauren Boebert, who are all the, you know, the MAGA nuts, and feel my boobies while I'm watching Beetlejuice, and you know, here they are sitting in Congress.
Yeah, so.
And it's just.
So let me ask you a question. Do you
Sure.
rather have him as a Speaker of the House, or do you rather have Trump as the president? Pick your poison.
I don't think he should have.
Pick
any
your poison.
No, I don't think he should have any part of anything at all.
Yeah, let's play that game. Would you rather?
Right.
I don't think.
Well, that's kind of what it looks like. Like, okay, America, where do you want to have Mr. Trump at? Sitting in the House?
No,
Or
I want
sitting
him,
as a
I want
president?
him. I want him sitting in a jail.
But that's not going to happen. So
It will.
pick your poison.
It will. I've said to you on the podcast, how much do you want to put down now that he ends up serving some sort of time?
What, a whole 30
think that
days?
he might get probation. At the maximum, he'll get like some type of probation, but he's not going to go to jail.
He's not
His
going to go to
businesses
jail.
are going to be out. All right. His business won't be able to be, because he's lost his business status in
New York, right.
and that's at 250 million. So that might come down to 125 million.
But once he gets to be the Speaker of the House, hey, everything can happen.
Yeah, can you imagine what could happen? Seriously? I mean, here he is. His last thing was, he said that what, Martin Milley should be executed? The guy that's just retired? Is this really the American culture that we've come to?
I think America's so divided, and you know, at the
They've
end
lost
of
their
the
rationality.
day,
They've lost their-
end of the day, a lot of people are gonna come to whatever it is.
Well, tell
An
me
agreement.
what it is. Tell me what it is.
I don't know, but everybody.
I don't think it's gonna come to
there's
an
a lot of
agreement.
people that don't want him as president. There's a lot of people that do want him as president, and then there's a lot of people that want him. You know,
But
they're
when
gonna
you've
have
got-
to pick.
When you've got congressmen and congresswomen
Will he ever
who
be?
have said,
Who knows?
oh, there's only one way out of this, which is civil war. Do you not think that's a serious problem?
Yes, absolutely.
But that's what's happened. I mean, there's Congress women that have said that.
I think that a lot of America, at least from younger people,
How can you?
they've lost a lot of hope in the American system.
And I agree with that.
Yeah.
I agree
in
totally.
My age range,
100%.
There's no hope because it just feels like we went from Trump and then we went to Biden, and then a lot of us are struggling, and we're, you know, and every single day. That's why I have disdain for the Ukraine, and every day we're seeing that we're giving money to the Ukraine
Instead of fixing an
instead of
in-house
fixing-
problem.
Exactly.
But okay, but hold on. Let me tell you something. Biden has done more from both sides than any other president has for the last 12 years. With the things that he's brought in, the infrastructure.
What
all right?
infrastructure?
The infrastructure bill. It's the largest infrastructure bill that's been brought in American history.
I believe that.
All right.
he's-
And my God, our roads need some work. 'Cause in Houston, we've got terrible roads.
Hey, they're fixing that road down the road on Richmond. Thank goodness. All the potholes right now. And my street's getting speed bumps. I'm so happy. Oh my God.
I hate speed bumps.
I hate them too, but they're supercars.
Why
drive
should you?
past my
Why
street
should you
all the
hate
time.
speed bumps driving that big truck that you got?
Remember, I just got that truck. I did have my.
I mean, it's
Lexus.
got. Did you get it raised?
Mm-mm,
No, because
that's
it looks
stock.
higher than it normally. That is okay.
But
I used to get all the news that was happening in the White House, what was it called? The White House report every morning. But once Biden went in, like I stopped.
I think
Receiving
student loan forgiveness, they said that they were going to do it, and then they
The
did
biggest
it, and then they went back and did it.
Let me
like,
tell you
for a
what was the
small amount.
biggest promise, and this is
But-
relates to our business.
Okay.
His biggest promise was that he was going to somehow make a real change in America so that he can close the gap, or most Americans can close the gap of being homeowners. Has that bill ever passed? No.
It has-
Yeah, but
He's
because
promised-
because it has to go through both houses. That was
He
the issue.
but he hasn't even issued it. He hasn't done anything to it, which impacts our industry. Like promise, just like every single politician that goes in there. But that was, I think, one of the biggest reasons why he got into office, because it gave hope to a lot of people who have never owned a home, that their parents have never owned a home, and they want to be homeowners, and a lot of people were really
I don't
looking
think
forward
was
to
the
that.
main- I don't think that was the main reason.
You know how many calls I got a day when Biden announced that before running to president? I got a lot of calls.
Well, let me tell you why I think the biggest.
A lot of calls.
I'll
My
tell you-
phone was ringing
I'll
off
tell
the
you the
wall.
reason why I think he got into the office last time. Abortion. The whole purpose of abortion with
Yeah.
women's rights.
And then that didn't happen. It just
That
it
didn't
just
happen.
overturned Roe v. Wade. So that's what I'm saying.
You know,
It's-
but now it's become a state issue. You know, but it still hasn't changed. But my disappointment.
We
if I'm
walked-
going to say I'm disappointed in Biden, I would have liked to have seen him handle the border crisis more.
I don't care about the border. I care about the people here right now.
But that in itself, it can cause problems. But it's a case of how do you. I know how hard it is to get through the immigration system. It's very difficult.
So just with the whole abortion thing, we went 50 years back in America.
Yeah, and that's
50
the
years
biggest-
back down the drain.
Well, from Roe versus Wade.
Yes.
Yeah, 50 years. Thanks to Biden.
It was
No, it wasn't thanks to Biden. It was thanks to the Supreme Court. The
Right,
Supreme
but
Court
still-
made that who are Republican, a majority of correct. It's a majority Republican Supreme Court.
But that's what
They
I mean.
decided to change that.
I'm not talking about the presidency. I'm just talking about the entire American system, where a lot of young people, I'm going to say from 20 to 35, have lost hope in the actual fact that their votes. They don't
And I
believe
agree
their
with
vote
that.
Matters, and so I'm just giving you the reason.
And I agree with that. But let me ask you a question, okay? Do you vote?
Of course,
Good. But do you know how many youngsters don't vote?
they stopped voting because they.
But that's
They
the
stopped
problem.
believing.
Because it's
They
the
stopped
youngsters.
believing.
Everybody complains about how old the politicians are, but I think it's the youngsters that need to get out there and vote.
They do, but I'm just telling you that like the.
I'm
problem
not bothered
is
whether they vote for Republicans or Democrats or Independents or whatever. The Green Party or... When I went to vote, I was even surprised to see the Green Party on there.
Really? I wish we would have voted in Bernie Sanders.
Well, when you go on to a thing on TV, you just see two people.
Yeah, remember the Green Party? Remember the guy with the boot on his head?
There was...
Who?
The boot on his head.
When you do a presidential debate in Europe, you might see 7 people or even 10 people on the stage.
Yeah, the two-party system sucks.
That's part of the... That's
This
one of the
guy.
problems. Well, he looks somebody you can vote
His
with.
name is Vermin Supreme. He was running for president. He was on stage as a
There you go. Let's just vote for him.
And
He looks like Father Christmas.
just walks around with a boot on his head. All
No,
the
he
time.
looks like, what's that? Krampus.
Krampus.
Krampus, there you go.
Anyway, I guess we'll call it quits here. But I agree with UK,
Sucks.
you know. And I think one of the biggest mistakes was, and I agree with Kay, if that's the case, then we need to introduce that. Oh, I just put that in.
The guns.
You know the AR-15?
Oh yeah, this one. we were talking
Have you
about the
seen
other
this?
day. About it.
That gun, okay, on top of that tank, is a 50 caliber. All right. You can now buy. Go to the top. This gun, which is an AR, 50 caliber.
How many shots go in this gun? Like 10 maybe?
Yeah, about that. And you can buy one of them, and they start at $2,500.
I wonder how my shoulder would feel after that.
Well, just think what a bullet would do if it goes into somebody's body.
You're gonna explode.
Yeah.
Look at what it looks like when the bullets come out. That looks so crazy. It looks like a laser beam.
Those bullets
like
are
actual
about
fire.
the size of your finger, right? Give or take.
Correct.
But yeah, and then these
It's a
are
big
just
bullet.
regular guns. Remember when like the biggest handgun was the Desert Eagle and everybody was going crazy over that, and now it's just
Pete, no. 70.
I like watching people fire that thing.
I'll never forget the 70s and the 80s when it was, what was his name? 357 Magnum. What was his name? Damn it. I've got his autograph signature downstairs. Eastwood.
Oh, Clint Eastwood?
Clint Eastwood.
Ah.
Was
He's
it
one of my
Dirty
favorite
Harry?
actors.
Was he in Dirty Harry? Yeah. With his Magnum, was it 357 Magnum or something?
His son is a terrible actor.
Who?
Clint Eastwood's son.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I like Clint Eastwood. He's a good
I
actor.
like him as well.
He's a good. We agree on something. See.
There you go.
I used to like Clint Eastwood.
But you
I
know,
heard him
I
talk.
just watched one of his movies and it had just come out and he's 93 years old. He's still directing and producing movies and acting in movies.
At 93?
Yes.
You have to question, like, how is your... Usually by 93, you got something going on and your mind is not completely all there.
No.
80% of the
Honestly,
time.
I couldn't believe it. He's still a good actor. He was playing an old man. You know.
Are you talking about that where he was bringing drugs from across the border
Yes.
or something?
Yes.
Mule? Is that the name?
Yes, I think it was. And it was a really good... And there was another one that I watched him play as
The Gran Torino?
Love that movie.
Tarantino?
I don't know.
Torino?
I'm not a super big fan of Clint Eastwood. I don't know what to tell you.
I think he's just, well, a complete, you know...
I think because a lot of his movies were just not what I really like to watch.
Well, you'd like it, a lot of guns.
I used to have a huge
That's what I would think. You would like him because he always has guns in all his movies.
I don't like the old Western movies at all.
You gotta watch Gran
You don't
Torino.
like Bonanza?
That's funny.
I don't think
You was
I've ever
never a
watched
Bonanza
it.
fan?
I don't think I've ever watched it.
I've never seen Bonanza.
You need to watch Bonanza. Go to YouTube and watch a series of Bonanza.
Watch an episode of Bonanza. In your free time, just start watching.
Go watch it.
I know what I'm gonna do. Watch Bonanza.
He was in American Sniper. He was in The Line of Fire. The Line of Fire was a good movie.
I think it was The Line of Fire as well.
Crime
Yeah.
Macho.
That's
No.
the one.
That's a new one. That's not
That's
that old.
the one I was watching the other night.
I like Trouble
Cry
with the
Macho.
Curveball.
It's Cry Macho. It was a really good movie.
I've never watched that one.
That one was made in 2021.
It's
That's
on
not that long
Netflix.
ago.
Netflix.
I haven't watched that one.
It's free on Netflix.
All right.
Yeah. He just, I don't know. I used to have a huge crush on Clint Eastwood.
Shut up.
Talking about,
Shut
I'm
up.
talking about like 5 years ago. I used to be in love.
Did you want a sugar daddy? Did you want a sugar daddy?
And then I found out as soon as he got married, I was like, man, I hate that lady.
He's taking K now.
Okay. All right, guys. Well, let's wrap it up. We've done.
You sure y'all don't have a secret phone? Because she might find out tonight.
Ah, just a little bit of time. Everybody's phone's gonna be ringing.
Yeah, let's wrap it up before we get going. So thanks for tuning in to the Olympian Table this week, and thanks to my two young ladies here, to Ms. Laura Zuniga and Courtney Guerra. How do we contact you?
Laura at LSP Mortgage or social media.
Courtney at lspmortgage.com.
Does LSB Mortgage have a website?
LSPmortgage.com.
LSPmortgage.com/Courtney.
Courtney is crazy.
Or
Oh,
slash
really?
Laura.
Is that how?
No.
Okay, is that how the codes work? Okay.
Oh, it's slash.
Just in case somebody wants to contact you, on the internet and such like. My name's Steve Williams, as I said, host of the Olympian Table. Please like, subscribe, turn on notifications. I want you to all be happy, stay healthy, and if we can help in any way, you want to contact us for anything real estate, call us or contact us through all social media platforms at C21 Olympian TX. We appreciate you. Have a good week and take care and stay dry. Ta-ta for now.